Hey guys, welcome to our podcast number 8, Expand to the Cloud Brokerage. I'm really excited about the 3 young ladies here today that actually just moved from another brokerage to come into eXp. Gina, Jennifer, and Regina, welcome aboard. And as well as you know about David, David is rocking it out. We're expanding aggressively, I could say. David, right? Yes, aggressively.
I think I'm actually flying out to another state in a couple of weeks to talk to somebody else about joining. So yes, we're rocking it out.
Nice, nice. So we're going to hear the story from all the 3 young ladies about why they left the other brokerage, what they've seen in eXp, what their story is, and really explain to them from their perception of what they see in the eXp, what everybody else should see as well too, right? So Gina, you want to go first?
Gina?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure. So hello everyone. Good morning. So I've been in real estate about 4 years now. Did the typical, brokerage, started at a mom and pops and then moved over to a franchise brokerage and have been in that kind of, I guess, environment ever since until I was introduced to eXp. And it took a while before signing up, but it was something that just always stood in the back of my mind. I always thought about it. I love the concept and just the freedom of it overall and the benefits that you still get to have for yourself and your family while doing the same thing I've been doing every day in real estate. So I thought it was a no-brainer.
Nice, nice.
Gina, let me ask you a question. You said that it took you a while once you had heard about it. There's this, either people jump right in, right? They either hear about it and then they make the jump, 2 days later, a week later. Some people, it takes a little bit longer. And I think a lot of that has to do with just personality, I think. But talk to me about, tell us why it took you a while. What was your reservations about? Was there reservations about eXp? Was it reservations about just your brokerage changing? What was that time period like? First of all, how long was it? And what was your reservation during that time period?
It was about a year.
Okay.
And the reason being, it wasn't because of eXp. It was just that when I first learned about eXp, I had just recently joined that brokerage.
Okay.
So for me, it was more of a, let me see how this works. I'm going to give it a year time frame. And also, as we all know, every time we transition into another brokerage, it's money that we invest.
Right.
And so for me, it was like, I just finished investing in this new company, in this new brokerage. I'm going to give it a shot before just jumping onto the other ship and investing more money. So of course, we're here. It didn't work out, but I'm extremely happy and I'm extremely excited and I'm happy that I jumped ship.
Awesome. Okay, great. Thank you.
Jennifer.
Hi, everyone. Good morning as well. Thanks.
Jennifer did not want to do this.
I did not,
yes way.
But it's fine. I'm fine with doing it. So I've been in real estate for about 3 years. And I came from, my first office was with Exit. So it was a franchise office. With that office, it wasn't a bad office. I just felt like I wasn't getting the support that I needed and the training, especially being a brand new agent. So then I moved on to another franchise office, and that was the Core Realty Elite, based in Queens. So with that office, it was kind of similar. I felt like I wasn't, really getting the support and everything that I needed. Gina actually introduced me to eXp, I want to say maybe like 2 or 3 months ago. So it also took me some time to join because I'm the type that I like to do research first, and I like to read reviews first, and I'm not just jumping into something right away. So for me, it was that. So when I did the research, I went to the lunch and learn. I went to 2 lunch and learns actually before I decided like this is not just another company. I felt like it was also an opportunity. And I felt like for me, I saw the vision that eXp has and I see the vision where it's going. And I think that for me, it was like getting in now before it really explodes because it's already expanding. I love the fact that eXp just gives you multiple ways to make money. You know, you can make revenue shares from being in New York, and you can have that, you know, revenue shares in California and Florida and different states. And there's no other company that I know that does that. So I think for me, that was important. It also gives you ownership in the company. Like, you're not just a part of the company, you actually have ownership in the company. And I think that that's amazing as well. And I'm fine with it being a cloud-based. I think that was one of the main things that I was skeptical about, was not having an office. But, you know, certain teams like Rummy's team, he has a brick and mortar office, and then we have the Regis office all over the city and all the boroughs.
Right.
So for me, that kind of made up for it. So I think having that option, and there's just no other company like eXp that's doing what they're doing. So for me, it's just, I saw the vision in it, and that's why I won.
Nice.
You know, one thing that you said that there's no way you can know this yet because you haven't been with eXp long enough.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that you were concerned about with your other places that you were at were support and training.
Right.
And going from having that experience of being at a brick and mortar location and not getting support and training,
Mm-hmm.
and then going to a cloud-based business had to be scary, right? It almost still has to be scary because you haven't really been with eXp that long. I will tell you that utilize the world. I think that is something that's underutilized.
It is.
Utilize your sponsor. I think that is something that is underutilized. And I will make you. I'll bet you a steak dinner. How's that? That at the end of the year, or even in 6 months from now, you're going to say that the support and the training is better at a cloud-based business than it was at your two brick and mortar places.
I already see it, honestly, with being on Rummy's team. I already see the support, and then there's always support on the cloud, like you said, on the work. So I think that's like double support for me in a sense. Yeah,
and the training in the cloud is unbelievable as well, because the people that are doing the training, you know, have been, you know, they're. I mean, I've been in the business 20 years. You know, we did 180 transactions last year, and I said, listen, I'll train. This is the things that I think that I can train for, right? And they even went with somebody else other than me on this one particular training because there was somebody better than me.
Wow.
And I'm like, awesome, run. You know, if you need any help, let me know. But we want people that are doing the training that have been in the business a long time, that have, and not just because they're better trainers, right? Because I don't really consider myself a great trainer, but I can tell you not so much what to do. I can tell you, or what to do. I can tell you what not to do, because that's what 20 years experience gets you.
Right.
Where not, you know, where not, especially when it comes to marketing, where not to spend money and waste that money. People that have been in the business a long time, we've wasted a ton of money on these shiny objects and these, you know, we've got these industries coming at us from all over the place saying, here, buy this product or you're going to be out of business next month, right? And a lot of agents just jump on that. And having somebody that's been in the business doing training, or having a mentor or a good sponsor that can say, wait a second, that's not what you think it is, don't spend your money there, is extremely valuable.
So David, let me ask you a question. So eXp actually reached out to you and vetted you out first.
Yeah. So they put out a thing to, I'm part of a Icon Facebook group.
Okay.
So that means, you know, people that have done, you know, 30 to 40 transactions a year, and or more. And in that group, they asked, hey, here's an application. We need trainers. Here's an application. And the application basically had, like, you know, 20 different boxes you could check. Mm-hmm. And you were supposed to check the boxes that you felt like you could bring value to. Like, for instance, I didn't check the expired calls because that's not how my team is made up. We don't make a lot of expired calls. We don't make a lot of for sale by owner calls. So I didn't check that box. But I did check the farming box. My 8-pound dog is going to eat somebody. I'm not quite sure. This is funny. Maple, knock it off. How you like that? How you like that for real? Okay, so I checked, you know, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 boxes, and they got back to me and said, hey, here's where we need help. We don't necessarily need help right here because this is who we have. So yes, they absolutely vetted me.
So, and that's important. And anybody who's listening right here, you know, when you're looking for somebody who's helping you get trained up and making sure that, you know, you're choosing the right company, you don't want to get someone that just does one part of the business. Now, this company actually goes out and vets out all the top trainings out there. You have to do minimum of 30 deals. Let me tell you, if I knew that way before, I wish eXp was there 20 years ago so I could jump on it right away so I don't waste that much time. And it's so crucial. I mean, even though, Gina and Jennifer and Regina are on my team, I think one of the most important things that I have to deliver this expertise. And if I don't know it, we could go to the cloud, we could go to eXp, and we could say, hey, here's the best training that you can get. But that is really, really crucial. Thank you for providing that information, because I think that when anybody that's making a decision, you could actually look at the training that somebody has to give, not just what you have to pay for. This is free trainings that you get in front of the desk, in front of a computer, and from the best of the best people out there. Awesome. Regina, how you doing? I know you've been quiet.
I'm great. Good morning. Good morning. Well, I'm the, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Everybody hear me okay? I'm the one with the least experience here. So, hi guys. Nice to see you. Actually, my story is a little interesting because before this, I was doing network marketing, which I still do. So I was with a company that I've done very well with. I make residual income. It's been amazing. So through that company, one of my business partners was a real estate broker who said, hey, I think that, you know, with your personality, this would be something that you should do. And I'm the type of person that I jump on opportunities. So I got my license. And then when I got to his office, it was really a mom and pop. I didn't like that there were no real trainings. There was no systems. And I'm the type of person that if you tell me one time, I could follow it and I could do it. But if there's no training, how am I supposed to know, you know, how to sell a house and what's the paperwork and how to rent an apartment and so on and so forth. So I left that office. I ended up at an office with Gina and Jen. That's how I met them. And that office promised that there would be systems and trainings in place that there were not, as well as a lot of shifty stuff that went on with a broker that I didn't like. And so I had decided I wasn't going to do real estate anymore, to be quite honest. So that was a lot of money that I spent. It was over a year back and forth with that office between the other one. And I was like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. And then Gina called me one day and she was like, I heard about this cloud-based, real estate office. Like, you don't have to deal with a shifty broker. You're really basically working on your own. The commission splits are great. And all the training is there. And I was like, well, I'm interested because I'm always open to an opportunity. So we went to the lunch and learn. And within the first 20 minutes, I was in. I knew that I was in. But since Gina introduced it to me, Gina and Jen, I had to wait on them to see what the group decision was going to be, because I know that I needed the support that I didn't have before. But on top of that, I believe you need, because of the lessons that I've learned from the network marketing company that I'm in, you need a good sponsor and you need to be on a good team, because if you're not going to succeed. Yeah. So I needed to do some research, and know that we were making the right decision. Yes, absolutely. No, absolutely. Yeah, and see, if you knew what you were talking about, because there were other people prospecting Gina. Right. And we were on calls, and it was just like, because of the experience I have, I was able to tell them, like, listen, you can't just sign up with somebody or become, right, because you could become a member. The fees are rather low here, as long as you have your license, correct? Yes. To sign up with someone, and if they don't know how to lead you and how to help you, then you're not going to get this done. Right. Definitely. That's just the bottom line. So having, what did we have? 3 meetings. Right? It was 3 meetings in total. Yeah, we had. And then that was really what solidified everything. But I was in from the lunch and learn, because I knew what I was looking for and I knew what I needed. So I'm super excited to be here, because I know that we're gonna make money. Isn't that the bottom line? Right? Yeah, that's what. Isn't that the bottom line? This is what you want to do, because when you do real estate, it's almost like voluntary work until you get paid, until a deal is made. Yes. Right. So I am 100% positive that we are going to make a great amount of money here.
And the beauty about all this is, right, and David, that's why I spoke to them about it. I'm like, you don't have to be, the year or 5 months on my team, right? With eXp, they give you so many different options. Eventually I want them to create their own team. I want them to go out and duplicate, what we're trying to do here and duplicate what eXp is trying to do over here. And that's the beauty about it. So, and we're all financially connected together. My success relies on their success. Right. Their success relies on my success, and David, vice versa for us and them too as well. And having done that, it's like, David and I made a commitment, and when we first started, like, we're gonna make sure that everybody who is involved with us is gonna make sure that they have all the right tools. Now, David always says, Rummy, you cannot make the horse drink the water, and that's really true about it. And I'm passionate about this business. I know David is too as well, and that's why he pulled me in. And having said all this, is just, I'm kind of proud that I chose this organization, number one, and chose eXp too as well. I mean, I'm literally almost closed my own company out. I got like maybe 2 more agents left there. We transitioned them into eXp too as well, because they also needed some time to make a decision too as well. And having said all this, right? I mean, you guys are Summons 4, 2, and your brand new, Regina, right? Your perception of what you have experienced through other brokers, obviously it was not the best of the best. What do you feel so far, being so fresh? Because I've been in the business in eXp for 5 years. I have a love for eXp. I mean, it's a complete different experience. Every month I pass by, I'm like, wow, it's getting better and better and better. What do you, as somebody who's looking at eXp right now, what do you want them to realize and consider, which I think that maybe we knew before too, but from your perception? Anyone?
Should I think, go ahead, Gina.
You can go, Regina.
I think it's about timing and placement, being in the right time in the right place. All the systems and everything are here. I think we're in a totally different time from the mom and pop shops that someone would walk in and say, hi, I'm looking for an apartment. I'm looking for a house. It's very different now. People can go on Zillow, they can go online, Trulia, and we're in a very fast-paced time now. So seeing this model fits the lifestyle and fits where the world is going with technology, with everything. So seeing this, someone getting into real estate, I feel like a lot of people that get into real estate, it's like a part-time, right? Like, I'm going to start as a part-time. I'm going to see if I make some money, and then I might go full-time. So this fits into the fast-paced world that we're in. On top of that, with all the systems in place, like, if you don't win here, it's because you didn't apply yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
So seeing this, like, we were at the lunch and learn, and there was a gentleman that was next to Jennifer and I, and he was older. He's definitely been in the business 20 some odd years. And for him, it was being afraid. It was a no because he was afraid.
Right.
Because he's not sure about technology, because he doesn't know how his clients are going to carry over. Mm-hmm. So this model may not be for someone who's in I'm 50 plus years old, because it's hard for them to make the transition. But for a newer agent coming in, this is ideal.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. Regina, I completely agree with you, but let me add this. I think that if first of all, there are some people that are in their 50s and 60s and 70s that know more about tech. Now, it is a smaller percentage, right? I mean, right. I always use my father-in-law as an example. I mean, he'll call us and every time we call him, or every time he calls us, we see his ear because he's FaceTiming us, right? And we're like, Papa, we can see your ear. What do you mean? Papa, put the phone where he can see, right? We love it. It's hysterical. But it's one of those things where I believe that and this is just business, and this has nothing to do with real estate. This is just business. If you don't adapt, you don't survive. And that goes down to that gentleman. If that gentleman is afraid of technology, if he wants to be in the business in 10 years, he needs to adapt to his clients. Because his client, like I tell my team all the time, ask people, what's the best way to communicate with you? Phone, email, or text.
Yep.
And then communicate with those people how they want to be communicated with, not how you want to communicate with them.
Right.
Same thing with this gentleman. If he doesn't adapt, if he doesn't do business the way the future, where it's coming, guys. I mean, my 15 and 16 and 17-year-old kids, they're going to force people into this technology world, right?
They're far.
Yes, right? They're going to force us into it. So if that gentleman doesn't adapt, or if you have somebody that's 25, kind of unusual, getting into the business and isn't very tech savvy, they're not going to survive, because the world is moving that direction. And you have to adapt to how the world wants to adapt, not how you want to, how you want it to be. It's going to happen.
It's inevitable.
It's inevitable, 100%. One thing, Regina, that you said earlier that I wrote down and circled like 75 times that I want to talk about is the sponsor that you pick. So I plead with anybody that's watching this, I plead with you. Your sponsor is so important.
Definitely. And Regina definitely
so important.
put my eyes to that as well. She definitely did. Sorry to cut you off, David.
No, you're fine.
It's
Go
just
ahead.
a thought popped into my head. Because I actually, there was someone else that was prospecting me.
Sure.
Within the company. And he was the one that I was mainly in communication with throughout, the year. He was actually the one that introduced me into the company. And I have this thing where I'm kind of loyal to a huge fault. And Regina, she, the network marketing, she was explaining to me, she's like, Gina, have the thought about your sponsor and who you choose as a sponsor is really important. And I didn't understand why until she explained like the upline and the downline and all these new things that, I'm learning the way.
Yep.
And we had, the meeting with Rummy. We had a meeting with the other gentleman, and Regina just opened to my eyes the importance of it, which is why I did end up going with Rummy and joining Rummy's team, because I realized I'm super independent, but I realized the importance of coming into this company and needing the support that Rummy provides and the system. And he's like streamline everything. You think of something and he's like, wait, I have it in Trello. I have it in the training. And it's like, okay, yeah, I should have looked. Maybe I shouldn't have even asked you. I should have just looked at the training folder.
Yes.
I use the example a lot of times as we as agents, right? I try to plead with the community and I say, guys, listen, not all agents are created equal. Stop using your best friend's cousin that did 2 transactions last year because your best friend's cousin, right? And I also plead with people, you should, as a seller with the largest asset that you probably own, you should interview 2 to 3 agents. Do your research, find out who is successful in your area, has sold a lot of homes, that know what they're doing with the largest asset that you own. Interview 3 of them and go with the person that you think has the best chance of getting you the most amount of money with the least amount of hassle for your house. Right. So we as agents should do the same thing when it's picking a sponsor. I did it. I had 2 people and I told both of them, guys, I hate to say this to you, but I'm interviewing you.
Yeah.
This is an interview. You tell me what you're going to do for me. I know what I'm going to do for you. I already know. You need to tell me how you're going to help me. And I don't believe that agents do that enough.
It's true.
Regina, I'm glad that you brought that to this group.
Same thing for me. I was in the position where somebody else introduced me to the company, and guess what? David's like, no, you got to come here. You got to go look at this. This is why I'm choosing this. And it's really, really vital. And we're not, twisting anybody's arm. You have the choice. Anybody that's making a choice right now, you have the choice, but do your homework, what David is saying. Do 100%. Your homework, making sure that somebody's going to help you build that wealth. I mean, this is all what it's about, helping you build this wealth, helping you build your tree and your organization and your transaction, and giving you the training in the back end. I mean, today, I got a call from Richard, right? The other day, I got a text message from Keely. Before that, I got a message from Rob. I mean, this is in our organization. Who does that? That's literally just calls me up out of the blue. But it's a good feeling, right? It's a really, really good feeling. And it makes me feel like, man, I'm in the right organization. And this is where I should have been. I mean, I am. And I wish that everybody has the same exact experience.
Listen, I talk to agents. I mean, I've talked to probably 5 or 6 different agents that have called me and said, David, I'm already with the eXp. I see all the stuff that you're doing. How can I switch over to you? They feel like they're on an island because they didn't do it the way Regina told them to do it.
Well, I'm sorry. Well, the reason is because I had a bad experience.
Absolutely. Right? I realize.
So I signed up with, my cousin introduced me to something that I was already interested in. Right. So I said, I'm in. Not knowing how an upline works, not knowing. So it didn't matter because I know what I could do. So you talk about, I realized there's a personality test that you guys do that has like letters. Yeah. So what the company I was with was colors. So I'm a red personality. I'm very much like Rummy. Deep. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. And let's make this money. So it didn't matter who it was. But then I realized how important it was when the support wasn't there. So there's a difference between someone signing you up and us being a sponsor. Because a sponsor does have a vested interest in you, right? Yes. The better I do, the more money they make. Exactly. So let's work together, right? So when Gina was being prospected by this other person and we had the phone call, I didn't say one thing on that call. I just listened because it was a no. It was a no from the minute I heard his first sentence out of his mouth. Because I knew that he was looking to sign people up, but not to sponsor them.
Not to mentor them. Yeah, it was just more like a networking part for him, I think.
And I think we get a lot of complaints on eXp right now. There's so many people out there just putting these websites. I'm like, man, just do your homework. It's really, really important.
That's it. The main thing is just know you have options. This is a huge decision, just like a seller selling their largest asset they own. This is a huge decision. This is your business. This is your family's livelihood. Exactly. Whether you want to sell 5 houses next year or whether you want to sell 500 houses next year, it doesn't matter. It's still your livelihood. And you need to take it serious, and you need to align yourself with somebody that's going to be there to push you and to help you achieve whatever your individual goal is.
Right. That's like something that we actually really, really thought about, especially when we spoke to Rummy. At least for me personally, I said, wherever I go now, this is going to be my long term. Right. I don't want to, it comes to a point where you don't want to, when you're new, okay, you transition from office to office. You're getting to know the industry. You're learning. You're going through experiences. But at this point, I'm like, I want to be somewhere where I know it's going to work for me, for my family, and I want to be there 3, 4, 5 years plus. And, with the support that we get from Rummy and being on the team, what I love about it is that you're independent. You're still somehow independent and working independently, but still within a team, and you still have that collaborative environment, and you know that you can just, call one of your colleagues up. I mean, the first day that Rummy announced, hey, Jennifer, Regina, and Gina just joined the team, for us, it was kind of like, almost you could say like a culture shock, because everyone was welcoming us through Telegram. And that's something that we weren't used to. We're like, wow, this really feels like an actual team. And so we love that.
Yeah, awesome. We just we got somebody on right now from another company. I can't say his name. He just onboarded right now, David, and same exact experience, right? This broker again. Everybody. No, here's the most important thing. He understood this in a very, very clear format, right? He said everybody's recruiting. This broker, all he does is go to trainings and recruits other agents. That's all he does, and he puts them in the pipeline, and then he forgets about them. He goes, I don't want to keep making this change for me. I want to have a place where I can stick my, license at and I completely grow. So we had this conversation, and we sat down. He signed up, obviously, but, he's going through the process. And I told him, I said, listen, the most important thing that you could take away from here, the broker is only going to be looking at your transaction. All the trainings, all the support system, everything in the back end, you're going to get from the company. I mean, that's what the company provides. We have 300 people, employees that are working with us. I took them into the world, and it's amazing because he's like, okay, I could go to this department and that department. And like you said, it's underutilized. You have to really go there, and you have the full support system, right? If I'm not here, guess what? eXp will actually even take it. They are taking it much, much further. So, and that's there for every agent. There's no agent that doesn't have the support system where other brokers can't give the support system to them. And that is really, really important as we move forward. So, David, I know you always ask this question. So, what do you see in eXp that really made you said yes, this is it? And what do you see in the future of what's happening in eXp as we move forward?
Is it me?
Anyone.
What was it again? What made sign up with eXp? Was that the question? I'm sorry.
Yep.
Well, it was the systems. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was the systems. It was knowing that everything was there to help me succeed. Right. Also, sitting with Rummy. Not only are you a sponsor, but I see that you have a big interest in this because there's a lot of extras here that maybe the outside person wouldn't realize. But the Grant Cardone trainings, you do a lot of extra things that you don't have to do, but it's because you want your team to win. Okay. So clearly you're going to make money on the back end, but you really have a real interest in the people and seeing them succeed. Now, if you don't succeed, if you don't go into the trainings, if you don't follow the steps, then you're just not going to win here. So that was really what
you're not going to win. You're not going to win anywhere, right? Regina?
Period. Right. Period.
You're not going to win anywhere.
But that's really what solidified it for me. Because I'm gonna quick story is that the other office that I was at the first week I was there, they were like, I'm into apps, technology, whatever's faster. So the first week I was there, they were like, oh, we have an open house app. It's going to be so great. Everybody's going to get, a tablet. And when we do open houses, people just sign in and we have it. Guess what happened? It never came into fruition. Like it just never happened. We had that one meeting and then it never came up. So I'm like, what are we doing about open houses? Because to me, signing on papers and having all this extra paperwork is kind of old school, right? Like, what are we going into the future or are we going backwards? So when I saw everything here, like all the extras, I was like, this is a definite yes for me because I know that it's only going to get better.
Awesome. Jennifer, Regina, any last words?
Yeah, I think Regina kind of hit it in the ballpark. I think the training, like we said before, the support, and just the basic concept of where the company is growing and where it's going, to be honest with you, like with the revenue shares, the cap out is great. Just the world, that's just something completely new. And it's just the vision. Like I just honestly see the vision. And if you don't see the vision, you don't see the opportunity, because it's not just going with another company that you can stay with for a long time. It's like actually seeing it as an opportunity when you come to the company. So I feel like if you don't see that, then it's not for you. And if you don't see that, then I don't know how else they can put it, because it's so out there. And with the lunch and learns, the way they're doing it, it's not like they're pressuring you to come into the company. They're acknowledging you on the company and where it's growing. I mean, this is like the Netflix of real estate, honestly. Like, yes, it really is. So,
True.
Go ahead, Gina.
So yeah, I love the eXp from the first time I heard about it. I called Jen like, you were gonna freak out. I just found out about a brokerage. It's just completely cloud-based. For me, I love that because I don't like people being on my back. Hey, why are you not in the office? We have this meeting. And literally in a regular brokerage, I would tell the associate broker, can I conference myself into this meeting? Because I don't want to go there and sit for an hour or two just to hear repetitive stuff. And so for me, yes, everything is on the cloud with eXp, but there's extensive training. There's lots of training. I just love how everything's just set up for you to just go on board, get on the field and start working. There's things that save you time. I love the fact that there is marketing already branded for eXp within the eXp enterprise, which just makes it so easy. Literally put the picture of the house, your picture, your info, boom, you have a flyer, you have mailers, you have Even letters for FSBOs and expires are already written out for you. I don't know how easier it can get, really.
Yeah.
And then the fact that we have, the stock options, we have residuals. I love the fact that if someone, which David had brought up in the other meeting that we had, God forbid something happens to me, my son is licensed, which he's going to do when he's 18, my hard work will continue for my family. So that's very, very important to me, especially when you're running your own business. You don't have someone just giving you a 401k. We have to build that ourselves.
Awesome. And it's also the responsibility, right? Now you're the broker. Anybody that you're going to bring into the organization, you're that broker. You got to have the responsibility. And you don't want what has happened to you to happen to them. Really, really important. I just want to say one last thing before we get out of here. David, anything you want to add?
No, we're just welcome. We're super excited to have you guys on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As always, you've got my cell phone number. You text me anytime.
Awesome.
Thank you.
We are launching in the Bronx on April 11th.
Date.
We are?
Yes, we are launching in April, the lunch and learn on April 11th. I'm just looking at that right now. I think it's in the Bronx. So we'll have all Gina's, Jennifer's, and Regina's information on below in any social media that we're going to do. So please contact them. They'll answer any kind of questions that you might have. Obviously, you'll have David and our information too as well. We're doing a lot of new things as we move forward, more training. If you're just curious, reach out to any one of us. So, and if you're in the Bronx and you're listening to this, we'll have the Lunch and Learn again in April 11th, 12 to 2. We'll have the location. We haven't finalized the location. And thank you for all three of you to really pulling that forward and let's making it happen. Thanks again. Have an amazing, amazing day, guys. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
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 Advised that the topics and contents discussed in this podcast are opinions intended as general information based on personal accounts and experiences by the host Rummy Dhanoa and his guests. We recommend that listeners seek professional advice or research before making a business decision. This podcast is produced separately and independently from eXp Realty and is not sponsored or funded by eXp Realty.